Hey guys, Garage79R. I apologize for not making a video for the last, give or take, 2 months. Life gets busy, we got a new puppy, the shop's been busy. Of course, I have a 3-year-old, so don't normally have a whole lot of time to do some filming. So I figure I got a good moment today. My little one, she's a little under the weather, so she's sleeping right now, so perfect opportunity to be out in the garage to shoot a video. Earl's been fantastic. The boost is now up to 5 to 6 pounds of boost now. It depends on the gear and the load. It's on some different wheels and tires. It's on some old Enki racing wheels and Falcon 660 RT tires. And let me just say, those tires are great. The car feels light on its feet. They light off immediately, instant grip. You do got to water them down because they do get hot at the autocross, but the grip is, you could pretty much go full out on the first lap. Like they're already up to temp, 100 feet in. Maybe that's a little exaggerated, but I mean, compared to the Federals, which would take 3 laps or so to start building any kind of temperature, these are already cooking. So it's an adjustment. Now the car is not as tail happy. The Federals, the rear tires took so long to get any kind of temp in them. The car was always naturally tail happy. Now it's not. It might be part of it because I did raise the rear suspension a little bit because the tires do, kiss the quarter panels, and the Federals did the same thing. They actually, for cheater size tires, and I call them cheaters because they're fat. Both the Federals and the Falcons are both fat for a 205/50. They were actually almost identical in overall size. So I raised the rear suspension up partially for clearance and partially to help offset the oversteer tendencies. But now with these Falcons, I don't have those issues. So now I can crank up the rear spring rate a little bit. So anyway, car's been flawless. Other than now my clutch is starting to slip. Which I knew going into it once I started making power, my stage 1 eBay clutch was eventually going to be, reach its limits. I've been down this road before. I knew exactly when it was, it was going to start happening soon, and I know to go ahead and buy a good proper clutch right off the bat. My old white tercel that I raced, my turbo one. I say my turbo one. It was the only white tercel I owned. I spent more on trying to make eBay clutches work than just the one time I spent on a good ACT 4-puck that took just all the abuse and then lived on in another build. So the ACTs are out of stock everywhere, apparently. Like, I don't know what's going on, or they maybe just build to order now. And I took the opportunity just to try a different company. And so now I got an Action clutch, 6-puck stage 3. So that's going to go in this car. I'm going to put my old ASCO lightweight aluminum flywheel in as well. I get new flywheel bolts to go in it. Try to do things as proper as possible. However, now that these Falcons are very quiet tires, and I've also quieted the car down, I got a Dynamax Super Turbo that I've modified. I've opened up the capacity a little bit, so I'll call it the Super Duper Turbo. Now that the car is really quiet, I'm starting to notice I have a slight bearing whine in the transmission, so that will need to be gone through at some point this winter. I was talking to my friend Isaac about it. Maybe he'll do it. We'll see. We'll cover that when we get there. I'm going to go ahead and put the clutch and flywheel in now, well, soon, and then try to maybe get another run or two with some other clubs before the end of the season. And then once it's dead middle of the winter, I'll pull the trans out and have Isaac or someone go through it. And the go-to of these cars in the Tercel community, and we say Tercel, Paseo, is to take a C50 out like an E101 Corolla, and either you put all its guts into a Tercel case, or you can keep the Corolla case, but then you got to drill out the Tercel trans mount. The pads are there, but you got to drill and tap it. Because on a Corolla, it's got like a top hanger mount versus on the Tercel, it's kind of on the front. So I'm going to point to it like you can see it. But so people do both ways, but you definitely need to have the Tercel bell housing. But so that's the go-to. You can pretty much do anything you want with these transmissions. Once you upgrade to a C50, you pretty much can't break them unless you're trying to. This trans has lived through a lot of abuse, through a lot of turbo cars, and for it to only now start making a bearing noise, I can't be mad at it. So it started off life in my buddy Austin's turbo tercel that he used to drag race on drag radials, and it was built. It has a TRD helical LSD in it, and he beat on it then. Then I put it in my white car. I beat on it for, I don't know, 40 something thousand miles, and at least 30 of that was with turbo, and then now it lives on in this car. So can't be mad, not at all. That's pretty much it. It's just really the only issue is that I've reached the limits of the clutch, and I can't be mad at that. So working up a game plan for winter upgrades for this car. I really want to make this a proper monster. I kind of low-key want, like, when somebody goes, who's the fastest in the mid-Atlantic region with an XSB car? And it'd be like it's a guy in a Tercel. I want that. Yeah, even if it's for a moment, I want that. Because I want people to go, what? Yeah. So we're getting crazy. I want to make my custom control arms for this. I've been wanting to make custom control arms for these cars for years. It's difficult because the back of the control arm is kind of like the weird like cupped bushing mount. So it's kind of hard to come up with a concept to address how to mount, like make a custom arm. I'm thinking I'm gonna use like a spherical ball and then make a mount that has a stud and bolts into place. I don't know. I'll figure it out when I get there. I've been hashing the details about these control arms for years, and I think I finally have a plan that might work. I want them to be adjustable so I can get a little more caster into the car, maybe a little bit of camber. And then eventually I want to make a set that has a custom ball joint, and I want to go to a wider track width with longer axles. Luckily, E90 Corolla axles are pretty much exactly 1 inch longer on each side. So I can then push the track out one inch wider. So that's long ways down the road. I hope to eventually make the stock fitment control arms for this car sometime during this off season. Other mods are at least front aero, a front air dam, and I don't think I'm going to do a rear spoiler yet, because I just don't think the car needs it. We'll see. But so far, the car's been great. Big news on Floyd, my pink tercel. It runs. Yeah, it runs and moves under its own power. I achieved that about a month ago, actually. It was about a week after my birthday. And I can fire it up, pull it out of the shop, park it, whatever. I can't run it for long because I don't have no radiator hoses yet. I got to make a custom lower thing to mount some sensors, and then I can figure out the hoses. But it does fire up, and every time it runs strong for what it is. I got to figure out it throws a power steering code because I'm not using the power steering from the Echo. I'm not using power steering at all. So I got to see if like a resistor mod will work. I tried grounding out the signal wire and it still throws the code. And I still have an evap code, but that's also because I have no evap system in the car yet. I haven't put it back in. So I think once I get that in, start tidying up things, it'll probably behave other than maybe the power steering code, which won't affect engine performance. But it works, and it's exciting that I have this kind of, for the States, a unique swap. I think I'm the only one in the States. I'm trying to make it so if I need to put regular tags on the car, it can go through inspection, it can go through emissions. I want it as OEM as possible. So fully working evap system, etc. So I'm doing it slightly, I guess, to a higher detail or higher degree than the few other swaps that I have seen in other countries. Which is funny, when I started this deal, I didn't see any of these swaps. And then now that I've finally almost done mine, I've seen probably 5 or 6 of them. The car moves. All the parts are in for the speedometer. I got to convert it to a regular speedometer. On the Scion transmission, it's got an electric sending unit. So you basically pull that out, and I got to drop in a tercel unit to run the cable. And then off the cluster, the tercel cluster then sends a VSS signal to the ECU. And usually with the modern Toyota engines with variable valve timing, if it doesn't see VSS, vehicle speed sensor, it won't give you the extra, the cam timing and whatnot. So I have to do it this kind of like backwards way, which is fine. The only thing is I had to source most of the parts from the UAE because they're just not available here. So I got them all. I just got to assemble it. And you might go, I want you to go find like a used unit. Well, they don't just pop up on eBay. I actually tried pulling the original one out, the original 4-speed out of this car, and pretty much destroyed it because it was so locked, seized into the transmission and couldn't get it out. So I'm only in it for about $75 for the parts. So for brand new parts, put it in, forget about it. What else? Got a few other little things. But yeah, I'm hoping to have that car. I wanted to have it running for the end of this month for the Toyota meet that we have locally. It's just not going to happen because that's literally next weekend. So the reasonable goal is to get it to the September event because we have the Toyota meet every month. So that should give me time to get it together, start putting some miles on it, work out any kinks and bugs that I might have overlooked or not noticed, and then I can start tidying up things. And because right now I'm running the wiring fully exposed because I might have to chase something once I start driving it and go, oh shit, this is wrong, etc. Not that I really foresee that, but yeah. So anyway, the funny thing is, when I first went to start it, I wouldn't start. And it was kind of disheartening. I was like, what did I do wrong? And I lost a couple of weeks just like chasing my tail, like, looking at my notes. What could I have hooked up wrong? And so I had to basically manually add power to the wire that feeds like all the sensors. And it'll run. It'll run great. Okay. And I kind of got lost in the fuzz there in the red mist. So like, what did I hook up wrong? I swore I did this right. And one day I just started looking at it with like a moment of clarity and I go, all right, let's get back to basics. Where is this wire supposed to get power? Start chasing that. Come to find out, when I had the dash apart to do like, the shifter and the clutch and to check the heater port and all that stuff, the one connector that I did not fully seat was the connector to sense power to the ECU and the sensors. Because I started chasing it and I wasn't getting power in places. Like, all right, where are we going? So I was like, well, let's pull down the fuse, the relay panel or fuse panel, and just make sure my colors match, whatever. And the connector went pink. I'm like, are you kidding me? Plugged it in, turned the key, fired it right up. So, 2-3 weeks of head scratching, like, why is this car why am I not getting power at this wire? So luckily it was an easy, just dumb fix that I guess I didn't fully click it, whatever, because it was kind of seated in there. And then when I dropped it down, it went, popped out. So shit happens. So I'm happy that my wiring job is seemingly dead on. And hopefully I'm gonna start driving that car very soon. So if you made it this far, say boogie woogie in the comments. I don't know. I appreciate you guys watching my content. I know we're a small group, the Tercel guys, the true Tercel enthusiasts. There's a lot of kids that just do dumb stuff with them, and then there's the people that truly love these cars. And I'm one of them. I'm an OG, I guess you could say. I've been into these cars way too long, and I don't see not playing with them. I like them too damn much. So I'll see you guys on the next one.